Good evening, YouTube and followers. Welcome back. Just another little update on the 78 GS550. You'll have to pardon my garage. We've added a few toys, and the wife still has to park in here, so I make sure that all the toys are over and out of the way. And of course, the moneymaker, or one of the moneymakers. So what are we doing? Well, we got a box from Babbitt's. Babbitt's online. We ordered some parts. I ordered the shifter linkage. Well, it's all apart, but I'll show you. I ordered the shifter linkage, which is right here. This was all wallered out and bad, so I ordered a new one, so it's nice and tight now. I still have to find the actual lever itself, this piece, because as you can see, I don't know if I can see it. See how it's wallered out? The heim joint's supposed to move like that, but if you can see, the black portion behind it is not supposed to move like that. And tons of slop in this shifter. So shifting it, it was a really big pain in the ass to get to go into neutral. So I went ahead and started working on that shifter lever to get it all back up to speed. Make it all nice and tight again. So then, as I'm pulling that apart, I started finding some random things that my brother put on here. A light kit. An old, half-melted, non-working light kit. So I painstakingly removed all 6 of those lights that he had fished and shoved up through everywhere on here. Got all those out. Got all kinds of room where the old airbox used to be now, because that was just full of a rat's nest of wires from all of that. But the reason I pulled this cover off was due to this. You see this right there? That is your front sprocket on a 78 Suzuki. If you'll notice, there's supposed to be a nut and a washer, a geared washer that fits over the gear, and a nut that goes on that and holds your front sprocket on. There is not. And apparently, after conversing with my wonderful brother, Michael, Wind and Wrenches shout out, apparently it hasn't been on there for quite some time, and he's been riding it like this, or he had been riding it like this before he shipped out back in 2012. So I have had this out on a test ride. My boys have had this out on a test ride. And there is no nut holding the damn front sprocket on. So we're going back online back to Babbitt's, and we're going to get that front nut and front spindle, but the threads there are almost gone, so I'm probably going to have to tack it on for now. Whilst I have it all apart, I'm going to go ahead and clean up and repair all of this wiring, because a lot of this wiring is just kind of haphazardly put together, and we got a few butt connectors and a few things here and there, and things just kind of laying, and there's a wire that's not connected to anything, and so on. So I'm going to clean all this up, possibly move it to inside where all that other crap used to be, so it's just out of there completely, and then wait on my next shipment from Babbitt's to get here, and put it all back together. I did the plugs today. We put new plugs in it. I've got sitting down there, and there's another cord around here. So, oh, it's right behind it. I got the new oil and the oil filter to do that oil change on this thing. And I got, obviously I've got carb cleaner, so I'm going to disassemble the carbs, take them out, clean the jets out. And I also went ahead and ordered new fuel line. You won't be able to see it, I'm positive, but the fuel line, right where it connects to the fuel filter, is in a 90, and it's got almost a kink in it. So I'm going to pull the tank off, reconfigure the way this is aligned, get a new pitcock filter and a new fuel filter along with the new fuel line and all new clamps, and put all that back together. And hopefully we'll be getting the correct amount of fuel then, because it was burning up the plugs because we weren't getting enough fuel. So it was starving itself. And I think that's partially what the miss was as well. So bled out the front brakes. I'm going to see how those perform once I put it all back together. If they still don't perform, I will go ahead and order the new master cylinder. And the whole front brake assembly and everything. We'll just change it all out. So just one of those deals where you just keep finding the little things and fixing them as they come along, and eventually you get it all fixed and it's 100%. But I definitely wanted to take off the lights and the unnecessary stuff that was, possibly going to short something else out. We're not certain that that's not the actual cause of the smoke and the melting underneath the seat. I went back when he tried to jump it, but we don't know. So, got to take off the, as you can see, there's supposed to be a seat attached here. Seat's up there on the mower. The weld's obviously broke, so we'll take this off and weld it back to the seat pan and make it right again. And then I'm going to pull that chain off, boil the chain in oil and get that, back up to speed and stuff. So I might just order a new chain, actually. Chains aren't that much. So yeah, that's where we're at. It runs and rides. There is no doubt about that. It runs and rides, but now that I know there's no bolt and washer holding that front sprocket on, we are definitely not going to be running it and riding it like that. And I no longer have the little, this was my battery strap. Got the actual battery strap from Babbitt's as well. So anyway, that's the update for tonight. Just a little more progress. We'll get the oil changed in it while it's all apart and get that filled back up and wait on the sprocket nut and washer to get here. And whilst we're doing that in our spare time, we'll reconfigure all those wires and figure out why I don't have a running light. I think it's probably just a bulb. Probably just a tail light bulb. And I've got to figure out, he had some little LED plate lights in there, but they obviously quit working a long time ago. So I got to figure out some kind of license plate light. Get that so that we have running lights and license plate light, and try to keep from getting pulled over for unnecessary stupid shit. But get all that stuff fixed up, make sure we have all the running lights that we're supposed to, and brakes and all that good jazz, and then we'll get her back together, ride her again, and see how she does. So, all right, just wanted to update you guys. Everybody have a good night. Just one more episode of this Indiana version of their we're not really Wind and Wrenches, but it's all the way from Indiana. Shout out to Wind and Wrenches out there in California. So that's what we're doing. Have a good night. Until next time, guys.